Here's the thing nobody tells you. It's 4:30 p.m. You just got home. You're exhausted. You promised yourself today would be different. You'd work on your side hustle. You'd hit the gym. You'd make that video. But you're on the couch scrolling TikTok again. And the worst part, you know what to do. You watched 50 videos on productivity. You've read the books. You understand the 2-minute rule, the Pomodoro technique, all of it. But you still can't make yourself move. That's not laziness. That's not lack of discipline. That's a systems problem, and I found the glitch. 3 weeks ago, I couldn't make a single video. Now I've posted 15 while working 7 to 3 retail and coming home with 10% battery. Not because I got motivated, not because I found myself, but because I engineered a system that works when your brain is fried. I finished mechanical engineering and I currently work in retail because the real world is messy and bills exist. And I'm going to show you the 6-step protocol I use to force action when willpower is dead. No motivation required, just math. Step 1, the Zeigarnik filter. Your brain is a CPU. Right now you have 47 tabs open from work. That email you didn't finish, that customer problem you couldn't solve, that conversation that ended weird. You think you're tired from work. You're not. You're tired from the unfinished work. Psychologists call this the cognitive drag. These open loops eat your mental power all evening. Listen, I know this feeling. I wrote in my journal. I come home with no energy. I really don't want to do anything. I just completely out of energy. I thought I was just tired, but here's what changed everything. Research by Dr. Gloria Mark at UC Irvine found that one single interruption, I'll finish this later thought, takes 23 minutes to recover from. Think about that. You check your work email at 4 p.m. just to see, and you just deleted the next 23 minutes of your evening. Alright, so in manufacturing we call this the unfinished work. In manufacturing we call unfinished work work in progress. Too much WIP kills the assembly line. Your brain is the same. You need to clear the floor before you click out. So tonight's task at 2:55 p.m. tomorrow, 5 minutes before you clock out. So just write down one thing that's unfinished, not 3, not a list. Okay, just not done, 3 p.m. saved. That is it. You're telling your brain the data is saved. We're shutting down now. 3 seconds, that is all it takes to close that loop. Alright, so step 2, the kinetic start. Wait, stop. Let's talk about the couch trap because I know what happens next. You walk in at 3:30 p.m., you feel hurt, your back aches, you're done. Your brain flips the switch to off mode. You sit down for 5 minutes and 2 hours later you scroll through 1,000 TikToks and you can't remember a single one. I know because I wrote about it. I stood in my room at 4:30 p.m. I had my weights right there on the balcony. I had my YouTube set up and I just stared at my bed. Not tired, not lazy, just empty. Here's the physics behind it. Newton's first law. A heavy object at rest wants to stay at rest. You don't need motivation at 3:30 p.m. You need a spark. Research shows a 5-minute micro bout of movement resets your nervous system. It's like rebooting a frozen computer. It tells your brain the workday is over. Life work begins now. Here's what I actually do, and I'm telling you, this changed everything. I don't do 10 push-ups. I don't go for a run. When I walk in the door, I stand for 60 seconds. That is it. I don't sit down. I stand in my kitchen, I drink water, and I look around. Your brain gets uncomfortable standing still. It starts looking for the next action. That's the kinetic start. Motion creates motion. So tonight's task is tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. when you walk in, don't sit for 60 seconds. Stand, move, touch your gym bag, touch your laptop, touch your notebook. You're not committing to the workout. You're just proving to your brain we're not stuck anymore. Step 3, the logical fuel window. Alright, so listen closely. Most smart people fail right here. You try to do your big thinking at 9 p.m. That is a massive system error. Your brain's logic fuel is completely gone by then. Here's what nobody tells you about the 7 to 3 shift. You wake up at 5 a.m., your brain peaks between 9 and 11 a.m. By 2 p.m., you're running on fumes. But society says, You're done early. You have the whole afternoon. Ha ha ha. Yeah, the afternoon when my neurons are firing blanks. When I was getting my honors degree, I realized your brain is a battery, not a wall outlet. You have a finite high voltage energy. You don't run a stress test on a machine with 5% fuel. Studies show your peak window is the first 90 minutes after a transition. That's 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. That's your golden hour. That's when you do the hard stuff. Not emails, not scrolling. The one task that moves your life forward. I wrote this in my journal. I try to edit at 9 p.m. It takes 3 hours to do 20 minutes of work. I'm just wasting time. I was trying to do engineering work when my brain was in screensaver mode. Now, I do my one priority task the second I finish my kinetic start. So tonight's task is to pick one task for tomorrow. Just one. Write it down. 4 p.m. Task name and 30 minutes. Phone in the drawer, no distractions, just 30 minutes of high voltage output. You're not trying to finish. You're trying to move the needle while you still have fuel. Step 4. The guilt firewall. Okay, real talk. Let's address the things nobody else will. You're not scrolling because you're addicted to your phone. You're scrolling because if you start working on your goals, you feel guilty about your family in the next room. I know because I wrote about this. I feel guilty for spending time with my family, especially I don't like to set those hard boundaries and say I can't meet because I'm working on my channel. Your family wants to spend time with you, and every minute you spend on your things feels selfish. So you scroll because scrolling feels like nothing. It's that guilt-free zone. Alright, so here's the engineering truth. This is the load balancing failure. You're trying to distribute your energy across too many systems without allocating dedicated bandwidth to mission critical operations. I know that sounds difficult, but pretty much if you want to escape retail, if you want to build the side hustle, if you want to become the person you're capable of being, you need one guilt-free hour, not 5 hours, not all evenings, one. Here's what I did. I texted my family and I said from 3 to 4:30, I need my hour to do my channel. You know what happened? They respected it because people who love you want you to grow. And if they don't, that's a different video. So tonight's task is time block 1 hour. Tomorrow, text the people who need to know. Be specific. I'm working on the project from 7 to 8 p.m. Let's catch up after. This isn't selfish. This is self-preservation. Step 5, the input shield. Let's be honest. Are you researching or are you hiding? Smart people love learning. It feels like progress. But if you watch 10 videos on how to start and never hit record, you're just procrastinating with a high IQ. That's how I lost 2 years. I was preparing. I wrote in my journal. I spent 4 to 5 hours trying to add all different prompts into one master prompt, but I still haven't made a video. I was optimizing the system to make the video instead of just making the video. Now that's my example, but I'm sure you can relate. In engineering, we call this signal to noise ratio. If you increase the noise, the consumption, the research, the learning, the signal gets lost. Your actual output disappears. You've done nothing. So tonight's task for tomorrow's night is to delete YouTube for 4 hours. Just delete it. If you aren't building something, you have no business consuming someone else's build. Close the tab, open your document, open your camera. 5 minutes of building beats 5 hours of learning. Step 6, the friction audit. You're probably thinking, I'll start tomorrow. No, you won't. You'll start tomorrow only if the system is ready tonight. Friction is the silent killer. It's looking for your laptop charger. It's deciding what to wear to the gym. Where did I put the notebook? I made the dean's list, not because I was smarter than everyone else, because I automated the boring stuff. I made it impossible not to study. Behavioral scientists call this environmental design. It cuts the willpower cost by 40%. I wrote about it. I made a teleprompter from a cardboard box and a piece of glass from a picture frame. It's just there. Every time I walk past it, I have 2 choices. Make a video or admit I'm scared. The setup removes my excuses. So tonight's task is to set up your battlefield for tomorrow. Tonight, open the laptop, plug it in, open the document to the right page, lay out your gym clothes on the chair, put your notebook and pen on the kitchen table. Make it so easy to start that it would be hard to quit. Look, I'm not here to tell you that you're great. I'm here to tell you you are unoptimized. You have the brain, you have the hours, 7 to 3 gives you afternoons. You just have a bad operating system. I lost 2 years to this exact cycle. Same journal entries, same guilt, same couch. But last month, something changed. 8 videos in 8 days. Not perfect, not professional, but done. And here's the crazy part. I can deadlift 195 kilos at the gym, but I couldn't lift my laptop to make one video. That's not a strength problem, that's a system problem. The research is clear. 84% of long-term life regrets are things you didn't do, not mistakes you made. One interruption cost you 23 minutes of focus. The lifetime stagnation tax of inaction is 5.1 million for high earners. The math is brutal. Inaction isn't safe, it's expensive. If you want the exact system I just walked you through, the Zeigarnik filter checklist, the kinetic start protocol, the guilt-free hour template, the friction audit guide, I built a free starter kit for people working 7 to 3 shifts like me with 15 hours a week, because that's all I have too. The link is in the description. Download it tonight before your brain convinces you to wait another 2 years. And listen, you're not stuck because you're lazy. You're not stuck because you're dumb. You're stuck because the system is bad. Here is a better system. Use it. Trust me. Now that you know why you're stuck, you need to know how to stop the noise in your head. The overthinking, the doubt, the paralysis. Watch this next video on how to stop overthinking when you're exhausted. I'll show you the 3-minute mental reset protocol I use when my brain won't shut up. Stop thinking, start calculating. I'll see you in the next rep.